Hey, welcome back to the channel. I enjoy living out here. I enjoy this land that we have. And today I wanted to get a different perspective. You're always hearing about me and my perspective about land ownership and how it's so important and the benefits of it. But today is a special day because we're gonna go find Gigi and see what's her perspective on land ownership. So come along and enjoy this conversation that we're about to embark on about land ownership.
Am I in the thing?
All right, Miss Gigi. I do this every day. I don't know why you always question this. But I'm glad to have you here. And for those of you all who don't know, which that means you have been watching my channel, this is my lovely wife, Gigi. Gigi Natural Homestead on YouTube. That's it. And I want to have a conversation with you about land ownership. Why is it so important to have land ownership?
It's so many things. I'll just talk about for me.
Yeah, from your perspective.
Instead of talking about what somebody else should do, I'm just going to talk about me. For me, having my free space means the world. You know, does everybody need 20 acres? No, everybody doesn't need 20 acres. But for me, having this much space, like, it's like we can sit here right now and we're just not being bothered. The most thing that's going to bother us is some gnats, some flies, you know, some mockeries or whatever. But you have so much free space. Like, I can remember when we were living in the city. Not even just in the city, but even when we bought our very first piece of land, and we had a half an acre, and you know, we had neighbors that were right next to us. Even though we like tried to keep trees around us, surround ourselves with trees, we still just had these neighbors that every time you're outside, you know, they were either gonna let a dog out, a barking dog, you know, where they just yap 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 like these yappers, or they would come out, they would start up a weed eater, a blower, a lawnmower. It was like you just could never be alone. And so for me,
we even had some in the back of us. Same thing.
Oh yeah,
Same thing.
And even the people in the back, like, we started to buy both plots, and we really should have. You know, in the grand scheme of things, we just waited a little bit too long.
Yeah, we didn't think nobody would just come in because it was a whole empty.
Yeah, it was so empty out there. And it was like we were the first people in the new second phase of development in that area. So, yeah, it's just the being alone, not having somebody just right up on you, because most people, I think they just need somebody around. You know, they're very needy in terms of attention and time and that type of thing. So,
you know, so one of the things that you're saying important is privacy.
Privacy is very, very important. When we're home, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a personable, open, like, butterfly, friendly, talk to everybody type of person. But when I'm at home, like, that's all I want to hear. All I want to hear is an ATV going by, or a car going by, or something like that. I don't want to constantly, every time somebody sees you outside, here they come with their loud blower. Yeah. Like in our last home, he had this blower that would just had the most annoying sound ever. And I can remember a couple of times when I was doing a video and he knew I was out there. He saw me out there and he just came with the blower. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of trying to do my videos, and every time I come out here trying to do a video, here he comes with the blower. So yeah, privacy is a big thing.
And one thing about privacy provides you where you can create your own environment.
Yeah.
It creates a place where you can truly be creative and be yourself, to, you know, allow you to just express yourself in different ways, whether it's through the landscape, or maybe you build figurines or statues, whatever you want to do. You know, it allows you to be free, be open, time to think, time to process, and then reflect on everything.
Just like here, just like in the secret garden. the boulders back here, the line rock. He dug those up. Well, maybe the guys that came out to initially clear, that was some of
I did like two.
So, you know, and that's what he saw. And when I saw it, I was like, wow. Like, that's a place to sit. That's a place for us to be able to sit and just chill and just, you know, have a cool, relaxing drink conversation on
this. What have you owning land done for you? As far as whether it's financially, mentally, spiritually, what has it done for you personally?
It's freeing. Spiritually, it has done a lot. Being able to just sit here and just listen. You know what I mean? Like hearing the birds, hearing the crickets, or whatever is out here and just chirping. That's the type of thing that if I'm having trouble sleeping, like I listen to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it really feels like I'm just connected again. And I didn't feel like that for a period of time. And I missed it. I missed just feeling like that. So that's why a lot of times I would go out really early in the morning just to hear nature just wake up. Even when we were in the city, just hear nature wake up. But you know one thing that I don't hear anymore early in the morning? Sirens.
Yeah.
You remember the loud music that used to come through every morning? It was a terrible system, but we used to always hear. It was terrible. It was bad sounding.
Yeah.
But we used to always.
Even traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic created this like white noise that was just consistent. It didn't never stop.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I think we have been. The only time I hear sirens and stuff now is when I go into town. When I go to Tallahassee, mostly. That's when I'm hearing sirens and all of that stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so loud. It's just quiet out here. You can just relax and just enjoy the peace of not hearing all of the noise. It's just really a bunch of noise in town. So I love that. That does a lot for me. It helps to just relax my nervous system. Like, what's your...
Everybody always know what I'm saying. But the biggest thing is that I want to know too is would you encourage someone to purchase land and why?
Only if they're ready for the work that goes into having your land. Now, there are some people who they just have the money where they can just buy a property that's already, you know, established, that's set up, that they really don't have to do anything except enjoy. Yeah, if you're in that situation, yeah, feel free. And to find a property, it was like the market was insane. It was booming. And we were competing against a bunch of non-Floridians who were coming in, you know, who had sold in their huge cities, and they were just bringing all of their money, and they were beating us out on a whole lot of stuff. So for us, when we found this property, it was like a labor of love for real. Like we would get out here in 95, 100-degree heat out here, cutting down trees, you know, chopping bushes. We were discovering a lot of stuff too, which is another thing that I absolutely love about this land, is that you probably can't tell in our background on video, but we have grapes, sculptures, bullets, we called them growing up. They're everywhere. I have found so many different herbs out here that I had only bought, but when you come out and when you start getting used to looking around in nature, you start to just be like, that has to be something. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, a lot of stuff is like we've been taught that it's weeds and this and that. I have found butterfly peas growing wild out here. That's one of the things that me and the G tribe, like, we love, because there are good teas and things that you can make from the butterfly pea plant. We have it growing wild out here. We have there's a herb that women use for hormonal. It's growing out here wild. That was my first time ever seeing it, but I saw it and I was like, this is something. I have to take a picture of it. And I took a picture of it, and my app was like, told me what it was, and the name escapes me right now, but it's growing wild. There's so many other things like wild berries that even when we were clearing the land, like we were picking wild berries and eating the wild berries that were growing out here. Not necessarily blackberries. Some of them are blackberries, but then other of them are like red berries, but all of them are edible. We just had so many things growing out here. What's the plant called where they used to make the root beer from?
Sassafras.
The sassafras plant. It's growing wild out here. It's all over the place.
So this is the reason why someone should or should not?
Oh, I totally got off track.
I knew you would.
but I was trying to talk about my experience with it. But yeah, you can definitely experience those types of things on land. You don't ever know what somebody may have planted or what is just growing wild that's just grown from nature out there. So you can also have a place for your family to be able to go in peace.
That's what I really like.
Like for us, we are big entertainers.
Family
We have
friends.
always been entertainers since the beginning. Like even when we were staying back in our old city where my first apartment was, we didn't have really any space, but we were still entertaining. We had a place where people can park, and then we sat over in this little small area, like not as big as this, sat around in our chairs with the music going, with the grill going, with our family around. So for us, having a place where family can gather together, like that was super important for us, because that's what we always did at every house. And even the house that I think that most of us, that me, you, baby girl, were just like, wow, we want this house that we got beat out on like real bad. We wanted that house because it was already set up it was a party house. It had everything we needed. It was already set up. So we always look for that type of thing. So if you're an entertainer, if you and your family like to get together and do things, then yeah, it's a great reason. Not to mention the fact that, if you don't want to stay there forever, it can be a great investment. Because if you go from raw land, like what we had, it was just like our first 6-7 acres was just planted pines. We love trees. We don't like to cut down all of our trees, for many reasons, but a lot of people are just like, hey, sell it, sell some of the pine. So, and then somebody came out and actually looked to see if they could come through. But for where we were, we didn't want putwooders coming in and just kind of destroying our land and leaving the mess up for us to clean up. We bartered with a couple of trees for land. As it relates to, being a landowner and just having those experiences. You can make money from your land if you want to do tours or anything. Like if you really want to have some of your land where you're making money from it, it's a great idea. And you really should. We make our funds from gardening, from growing stuff. And but other people could do tours, do gardens where you can have people coming in on the land to pick fruit themselves, like the buy here, pick here, you pick type of environments that we have here in Florida. So there are a lot of things that you can do with your land.
So a lot of people talk about land is the fundamental principle to establish generational wealth. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like your kids or your grandkids probably would want to come out here, or what's your thoughts about that whole?
I think home ownership in general is where you start. One of the ladies that I interviewed on my channel, she was a baker, so she was talking about how they started from, this one cheap little property, then they added another cheap little property, and then they added another, and now they have like 7 or 8 different properties, Airbnb in them, and all types of stuff. So there's so much that you can do to help your family to obtain that generational type of wealth. a lot of the kids, when they're younger, they want to stay in the city, you know. They want to be around all of the action and all of that stuff. But I recently asked the girls, I didn't tell you, but I recently asked the girls, like, you know, do you all want this? And the oldest one was like, yeah, yes, absolutely. And, you know, the younger, she's like, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. I love it out here. You know, I get to have the best of both worlds. I get to drive into the city when I want to, and I get to come back when, like, I just want to slow down and chill and relax. So I think they really do want the property, but you know, people are different. Everybody is different, and a lot of people today, like, they don't want to put in the type of work that you and I are willing to put in order to have this, you know, to have all of this. And I think it really just started, like, even with the very first property that we bought. Even though we had those little annoyances, we still we were like, wow, we just watched them cut down these trees and put our home there. Like, we just, and the community was just, it was just
the vibe was
a
cool.
Really, it was a cool vibe. Like, it was a nice place to be. We walked the streets, you know, walked up and down the street. We had conversations with people. We even had, like, little friendly competitions on who yard, you know, was gonna look the best. And, like, it was some competition out there. So it's just, there's just so much to being able to be out. Like, having the cabin, our little shed, having our little shed to home. It's like there was only so much that we could do when we were in the city. And so with being able to do that now, we were just talking yesterday, like, okay, we need to get a couple more to go back here for different things, you know. You can make the community that you want to make. And one of my coworkers were talking to me about, you know, doing this type of thing. She was like, it sounds like y'all are building a compound. And I'm like, yeah, we are. You know, so we don't have nobody talking about our chickens. You know, we can't have chickens, or, you know, when we did have a rooster, if he got a little loud or whatever, like, you don't have any of that type of stuff. And if that's a lifestyle that you want, if that's how you want to live, you want to be able to ride your four-wheelers or your dirt bikes or your ATVs or whatever, you got it. You can do that when you're in the country where everybody else kind of has the same mindset. You know, they just want the freedom to be able to do the little things that they want to do, and not have somebody constantly approaching you about trying to figure out what you're doing and what you're doing there. And, like, it's so much in the city that I just don't miss it. I work in the city, but I don't miss it. And sometimes when I see you walking past the cameras, you know, and I'm at work and the cameras are going off, I'm like, you lucky joker. You're so lucky. But I love it, because it's just like, you know, you get to be here to be that catalyst against anybody crossing the line, you know. So I love it at the same time. But yeah, the goal is absolutely to be out here, you know, to be able to come out early in the morning and, you know.
So it sounds like she should have did a live, because I'm just doing a little short video, and I don't have that much memory there. I don't know if we captured everything, but if we did.
Well, you came and found me in the garden, so.
Well, you know, sometimes you get what you ask for. But I thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your ideas, and hopefully this will encourage you to kind of take a deeper look at acquiring land. And it doesn't matter about whether it's half acre, quarter of an acre, or 20, 40, 30 acres. It's just whatever your budget can afford. It's still a sense of freedom. It's a sense of peace. And just having your own space it's just major. So I encourage you to look into it. Encourage you to really try to seek after it. And once you experience, you'll see what I'm talking about. And if y'all have some more ideas, or you like the conversation, leave us a comment below, and we thank you for watching. If you watched to this time, at least hit that like, hit the subscribe, check out DG Naturals Homestead, and don't forget, whatever you do, don't forget, keep on growing. Grow. Till next time, fam.
Bye, guys.